Good morning. Happy Sunday. This is Jim, 5714 Collector, bringing you another video about the 1972 Topps baseball card set. I've got 15 cards here this morning to go through, and we're going to get started with card number 146. It's Steve Keeley of the White Sox, if I'm saying that correctly. There's the front of the card. Love those red hats for the Sox. Those are pretty cool looking. And the back, of course. We've seen the back of these, but you know what? We'll show them anyway. Just because, why not? So Steve Keeley with the White Sox is card number 146. And a little bit of trivia about him. He pitched in 6 major league seasons with the Angels and the White Sox. He also had 1 major league shutout. That came against the Orioles on August 21st, 1969. He struck out Brooks and Frank Robinson in that game. So that's pretty awesome. Shout out to 69 Orioles. And, of course, they went on to the World Series and lost in 5 games to the New York Mets that year, the Miracle Mets. On September 6, 1971, he had a 3-run home run off Ray Corbin. That was the last home run by a pitcher in a White Sox uniform until John Garland did it in interleague play in 2006. So kind of a cool little trivia question there. Card number 147 is Dave Kingman of the San Francisco Giants. And of course, they called him King Kong, Kingman, and Kong, and all that. And he didn't hit for a high batting average, but he led the league in home runs twice. Had a lot of strength, let's say that. So, number 147 is Dave Kingman. A little bit about him. 442 lifetime home runs. Like I said, he led the National League in home runs twice. 48 with the Cubs in 1979 and 37 with the Mets in 82. He struck out 100 or more times in a season, 14 times. So that's quite a few. In 1977, he became the only player to hit a home run for the American League East, the American League West, the National League East, and the National League West. So all 4 divisions at that time, he hit a home run that season. That's pretty awesome trivia question for you guys. Card number 148 is Dick Billings here with the Rangers. Catcher. Show the back of Mr. Billings' card. Now a little bit about Mr. Billings. He played 8 Major League Baseball seasons. Had a career high of 119 hits in 1972 with the Rangers. He also had 5 home runs and 58 runs batted in that year. He caught Jim Bibby's no-hitter on July 30th, 1973. So that's pretty cool. Wonder if he kept the game ball or did he give it to Jim Bibby. That's kind of cool. So card number 149 is Gary Niebauer. That's pretty cool. Here with the Braves. Show the back. And of course, I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due to baseballreference.com. So Gary Niebauer. And a little bit about Gary. He played parts of 6 seasons with the Angels. With Atlanta. I apologize. And Philadelphia. Went 4-8 lifetime, and he had 1 career save in 148.2 innings. So that's Mr. Gary Niebauer. And just show you what I write on my notepad here, my little 3x5 index cards. And I've kept every one of these as I've gone through all these cards. So here we got number 150, Norm Cash of Detroit. So that's pretty cool. And a little bit about Norm Cash here. 5-time All-Star, led the American League in batting in 1961. He was Bob Gibson's 16th strikeout victim in Game 1 of the 1968 World Series. That 16th strikeout, of course, by Bob Gibson broke Sandy Koufax's record of 15. So he scored the game's first run in Game 7. Of course, the Tigers beat the Cardinals that year, 4-3, and they won the last game, if I remember right, 4-1 over Bob Gibson. Mickey Golich picking up his 3rd win of the World Series. Let's see. He made the last out in Nolan Ryan's 2nd no-hitter in 1973. And if you go onto YouTube and take a look at that, Norm Cash came to the plate with like a table leg instead of a baseball bat. Ron Luciano just doubled over laughing and all that. And Cash was quoted as saying, "I have about as much of a chance getting a hit off Nolan with this than I do with the baseball bat. So go on to YouTube, take a look at Nolan Ryan's second no-hitter, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's pretty funny. I showed my wife that, and we got a big kick out of that. So card number 151 is Jim Brewer here with the Dodgers. Very good relief pitcher for them. Pretty cool looking card. Nice looking card too. As I've said before, I love the 72 top set. It's my favorite set of all time. He played 17 major league seasons. He was 69 and 65 lifetime with 133 career saves. Not bad at all. He had 118 saves from 1968 to 1973 with the Dodgers. He learned how to throw his screwball from Warren Spahn. So, pretty neat stuff. Now we come to a really cool piece of trivia here that I guess most people know about it, but we're going to talk about it. Gene Clines here with the Pirates. Very good ball player. More of a utility guy, but a very good ball player. Had some success pinch hitting. We're going to talk about Gene Clines for a minute. He played in 10 seasons in the majors, had 645 base hits and 5 home runs. He was playing center field for the Pirates on September 1st, 1971, when the Pirates became the first team ever to start 9 African-American and Hispanic players in a game. So that happened September 1st, 1971. Gene Clines played center field. So that's pretty awesome, So just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. That's on Baseball Reference. If you get a chance, take a look at that. You can read about it. So history was made that afternoon or that evening. I don't know if it was a day or night game, but history was made. That's pretty awesome. So being part of that, that's pretty cool. So here we have Rick Auerbach, if I'm saying that right, with Milwaukee. And this is his rookie card. So that's pretty awesome. So he played 11 major league seasons. He had a career high 121 hits with 16 doubles in 1972. Also had 24 stolen bases that year, which was 7th best in the American League. So now we come to card number 150. Make sure I say it, 154. We got Ted Simmons. I got my Hall of Famers in another spot, so it's Ted Simmons. There he is. He got elected to the Hall of Fame in 2020 by the Veterans Committee. Should have been in way before that because he was a very good ball player. Caught over 1,700 games lifetime. One of the very good catchers of that era. Of course, there was a lot of good catchers in the 70s. Munson, Fisk, Bench, of course. But Ted Simmons was among them. Here with the Cardinals. And he was an 8-time All-Star. So that's pretty awesome. He also hit 248 Major League home runs and had 1,389 RBIs. So Larry Dierker's next, number 155. So very good pitcher here with Houston, with the Astros. Very, very sharp looking card. Again, just love those hats and all that. So, and Larry Dierker made his Major League debut at the age of 18 on his 18th birthday. So I guess this goes up to let's say around 2010 or so on Baseball Reference. He's one of the only 2 players in Major League history that made their debut on their 18th birthday. The other player was a gentleman by the name of Chris, I'm going to say it wrong, Hangley, H-A-N or H-A-U-G-N-Y. If you get a chance to look him up. He played 1 Major League game, went off to the military, the service and all that, and it was on his 18th birthday. So that's pretty awesome. So Larry Dierker played for and managed the Houston Astros. He was the first 20-game winner in their franchise history in 1969. He also pitched a no-hitter on July 9th, 1976 against Montreal. So, and Larry Dierker had a very good career for Houston. Very good pitcher. Wound up with the sore arm, all that stuff. Some of these guys, they're so good, and then they'll win 130, 140 games, pitch, 9, 10 great years, and then they hurt their arm and they don't pitch no more because the surgery back in those days was okay and all that. Tommy John, of course, when he went through the surgery with Dr. Job, that changed the landscape for pitchers and all that. So number 156 is the Minnesota Twins team card. Love that. That's a cool looking card. Love that blue. And of course, it shows the records and all that, who holds the season series records and all that. So that's kind of a cool thing. And that year they were 74 and 86. They finished fifth in the American League West. Tony Oliva led the league in batting, and Harmon Killebrew led the league in RBIs and walks. And Burt Blyleven, Jim Perry, and Jim Cott combined for 46 of those 74 wins. So that's pretty awesome. That don't happen like that anymore and all that, when these guys go 5 innings or 6 innings and that's it, and they don't get a decision, and all that. So starting pitching has changed quite a bit in the last, 10, 15 years, as we go to the more specialists in the bullpen. And if you throw 100 pitches in a game nowadays, they make a big deal about it when, guys like Carlton and Ryan and Seaver and, Gaylord Perry and Jenkins and all those guys were, pitching over 300 innings. These guys can barely hit 200. And it's just, if anything's changed in Major League Baseball, pitching has been the biggest thing. So I'll get off my rant this morning about that. So card 157 is Don Gullett. As here with Cincinnati, he made his debut at 18 or 19 also. Another young guy, had a 109 and 50 record. And again, hurt his arm, couldn't come back from, a shoulder injury and all that. But he won 109 games, and it was before his 28th birthday. So who knows? He could have won 250. Who knows? Again, if these guys didn't get hurt, they'd be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, they were that good. And we'll talk about Don Gullett a little bit. He was drafted by the Reds in the first round of the 1969 draft. Like I said, 109 and 50 lifetime. At 19, he had 2 saves in the National League Championship Series in 1970. He gave up Willie Mays' last Major League home run, number 660. So if you guys want to talk about trivia, here's one for you. Who gave up Willie Mays' last Major League home run? Don Gullett did that. Let's see if I can read this right. He hit a home run. He was one of the guys that hit a home run, first home run by a pitcher in the National League Championship Series. So I think Mike Cuellar was the first pitcher in the American League to do that in '69. Don Gullett was the first pitcher in the National League to hit a home run in the Championship Series in the National League. So that's pretty cool. Another trivia question for you guys this morning. Okay, 158, we got Jerry Kenny here with the Yankees. I'll show the back of that. So there's Mr. Kenny, a little trivia about him. He hit his second Major League home run on opening day in 1969 against the Senators. He was traded along with Charlie Spikes, John Ellis, and Rusty Torres for Craig Nettles and Jerry Moses between the Yankees and the Indians. That's kind of cool. He played 6 Major League seasons and had 325 Major League Baseball hits, so not bad. Now I'm going to say this gentleman's name wrong. I know that already. So it's John Baccaella. So I know I'm going to butcher that. Here, catcher with the Expos. And here's the back of his card. I'll show you guys that. And we'll talk about him a little bit. He played 12 seasons with the Cubs and Expos. On July 6, 1973, he became the second catcher all time to hit 2 home runs in the same inning. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool little trivia question there. That don't happen every day. So the last card, number 160, is Andy Messersmith, here with the Angels. That's a beautiful card. I love that color on that, way they do that. Andy Messersmith won 130 Major League Baseball games and lost 99. Pitched with the Angels, the Yankees, the Braves, and we'll talk about Andy here a little bit. He was a 2-time 20-game winner. I told you his record already. He won 20 games twice. He also had 14 career saves. He led the National League in shutouts with 7 in 1975. And I should have brought my laptop down, but Andy Messersmith played the 1975 season, if I remember correctly, without a signed contract. So he was playing that season without a contract. Him and Dave McNally did it. They were testing the reserve clause at that time, okay? And the arbitrator ruled him as a free agent and McNally because they did not have a signed contract. What I want you guys to do when you get time, go check out baseballreference.com and read a couple of the paragraphs that talks about the reserve clause and what McNally and Messersmith did, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I meant to bring my laptop down this morning. I was going to read the paragraph, But if you guys get time and want to read about that, I think it's kind of interesting how they broke the owners with, and then we started free agency and all that. So they tested the reserve clause. Of course, Curt Flood did it back in 1970. I believe Jim Hunter, Catfish Hunter, also, he played a year without a contract. So it's been a couple years, but these were the two guys that broke that clause finally. And I didn't ushered into free agency. So when you get time, take a look at that. Also, just want to say that I'm waiting for an SGC order. I'm waiting for 11 cards that I submitted to SGC at Chantilly. I'm hoping to get those this week, maybe early next week. Once I get them, I'll do the SGC reveal, because that's always fun. Always enjoy doing that. With that said, I hope everybody enjoy it. I believe part number 10 of the 72 top set. Next week, we'll go on to part number 11. I'll work on my index cards. We'll get the cards out. We'll show some beautiful 72 cards. With that, I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Be safe out there. If you like this content, please comment. Give me a thumbs up, and we will talk to you later on this week. Bye-bye.